Hello and a very warm welcome. I am Gushin Garland and you're watching Firstpost. In the next few minutes, we bring you the top 50 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. Our top focus comes in from West Asia. Israel struck about 300 Hezbollah targets across Lebanon yesterday. At least 13 Israeli airstrikes were reported in Beirut alone. One of the strikes landed near Beirut's main government hospital, killing at least 4 people. As per Lebanon's health ministry, at least 24 people also sustained injuries. Israeli forces said they uncovered a Hezbollah bunker under a hospital in Beirut. Israel alleges that millions in cash and gold are loaded in that facility. The IDF claimed that the storage site was built by former Hezbollah chief Syed Hassan Nasrallah. A Lebanese lawmaker dismissed the claims by Israel, calling them slanderous. Israel's military spokesperson said at least $500 million in cash are stashed in the vault under the hospital. Meanwhile, the Israeli army also said it killed a Hezbollah commander responsible for funding Iran-backed group. The finance chief, whose name has not been revealed, died in an Israeli strike in Syria. The commander was heading Hezbollah's Unit 4400. Israel claims the unit transfers funds to the Hezbollah group through Iran's oil sales. Iran warned the United States that it will be responsible if Israel launches a retaliatory attack directly on Tehran. This comes after US President Joe Biden said that he was aware of Israel's plan of reprisal. Iran's ambassador to the United Nations called Biden's remark profoundly alarming and provocative. Iran had fired 200 ballistic missiles toward Israel on October 1. Israel has since been planning to attack revenge on Iran since then. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken landed in Israel earlier today. He will try to push for ceasefire in Gaza. This is Blinken's 11th trip to West Asia since the Gaza war broke out. Blinken's last visit to the region was in August. However, a Gaza truce didn't materialize then. Washington sees the death of Hamas chief Yahya Sinwar as a new chance to revive the truce talks. A Peruvian court has given a prison term to former President Alejandro Toledo. He has been sentenced to over 20 years in jail. Toledo was being found guilty of money laundering. He laundered money amounting $35 million. Toledo accepted it as bribe from Brazilian construction conglomerate named Odebrecht. The 16th BRICS Summit is set to kick off in the Russian state of Kazan today. The two-day summit will focus on issues like Russia-Ukraine war. Leaders will also discuss the conflicts in West Asia. BRICS members will also assess the progress of initiatives they have made previously. Launched India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also attend the summit. He is also set to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin. Meanwhile, Russia's President Vladimir Putin will meet UN Secretary General Antonio Gutteres on Thursday. Both the leaders will discuss Russia's conflict with Ukraine. This is Gutteres' first trip to Russia in over 2 years. The meeting will take place on the sidelines of the BRICS summit. Ukraine has criticized Gutteres' decision to meet President Putin. India and China have reached an agreement on the patrolling arrangements along the line of actual control in the Himalayas. This marks a major breakthrough in a standoff that started in 2020. Ties between India and China are strained after the Galwan Valley clashes. This comes at a time when the BRICS summit is also taking place. Both India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and China's President Xi Jinping are likely to hold a bilateral meet on the sidelines of the summit. India has stepped up its response against hoax bomb threats targeting airlines. Talks are on over a potential law threat proposes penalties. Hoax bomb threats would also be classified as cognizable offence under the law. The announcement was made by Union Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu yesterday. Indian Airlines received about 50 hoax bomb threats this week. The authorities are also planning to put offenders on a no-fly list. The United States expressed concern over reports of North Korea sending its troops to support Russia's war against Ukraine. This comes after South Korea's spy agency said last week that North Korea sent 1,500 special forces to Russia for training. The United States has called it a dangerous development. North Korea's envoy to UN has dismissed Seoul's claim and called it a groundless rumor. Meanwhile, the South Korean government has demanded immediate withdrawal of North Korean troops allegedly deployed in Russia. It launched a stern warning against the North over the matter. South Korea said it will not tolerate such acts between North Korea and Russia. It further added that it firmly responded with support from international community. Electricity restored for almost 90% of residents in Cuban capital of Havana. This after a nationwide blackout had hit the Caribbean island. As per reports, several provinces of Cuba are still without power. The blackout occurred after the collapse of the nation's largest power plant. Moving to some climate news now, tropical storm Oscar has killed at least 6 people in Cuba. This is according to the Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel. Deadly winds and heavy rainfall caused flooding in the eastern end of the island nation. Officials are still conducting rescue operations and damage assessment. The Indian states of Odisha and West Bengal are bracing for cyclone Dana. According to the Indian Meteorological Department, a low-pressure area formed over Bay of Bengal will likely intensify into a cyclone by tomorrow. It will reach the coasts of Odisha and West Bengal on October 24. Heavy rains are expected in both the states until Friday. Fishermen have been advised not to venture into the sea. The Indian government's top policy think tank, Niti Aayog, says sulfur emissions are not impacting air quality. The think tank has recommended halting the use of devices that help remove sulfur from the air. Indian coal power plants have been mandated to install these devices by 2026. However, Niti Aayog has suggested that the government roll back this order. This comes as the Indian capital New Delhi and other parts of the country are facing poor air quality. At the ongoing COP16 Summit in Colombia, nearly 200 countries are discussing how to save nature from the rapid rate of destruction. The participating countries will share the progress they have made since 2022 and what needs to be done next. This time, the indigenous communities are at the center of the agenda. Colombia feels that they are vital in conservation plans. A group of 40 climate experts have urged the Nordic ministers from countries like Denmark, Finland and Iceland to work actively to prevent global warming. They warn the severe weather situation might cause a major change in an Atlantic Ocean current. This would further create a shift in weather patterns and could damage ecosystems. According to a research published in the journal Nature Climate Change, smoke pollution from wildfires globally are probably killing an extra 12,000 people annually. This is due to breathing in the smoke present in the air. People living in regions like Australia, South America and Europe are at an increased risk. According to the International Energy Agency of Southeast Asia, to achieve its 2035 climate goals, the region will have to increase its investment in clean energy to $190 billion. This is nearly 5 times more than the current level. The investments need to be paired with the ways to reduce emissions from the coal-fired plants. On to business and tech news now. The U.S. Justice Department has proposed a new rule to protect online data. The proposal aims to prevent foreign adversaries from accessing government data and the personal data of American users. The Justice Department has put new limits on certain businesses, transactions. The list of U.S. adversaries includes China, Russia, Iran, as well as Venezuela, Cuba and North Korea. Social media giant Meta is set to test its facial recognition software on Facebook. The software will be used to crack down on celeb bait scams, where the photos are being used without permission. Meta will enroll about 50,000 public figures during the trial period. The software will compare their profile photo to the suspected scam ads. Meta had to roll back its first facial recognition software 3 years ago after massive backlash. Qualcomm has unveiled its new mobile phone chip called Snapdragon 8 Elite. The firm says it will make phones more efficient in artificial intelligence tasks like generating images and text. The chip is powered by custom technology known as Orion. It was first used in Qualcomm's chips used in laptops. Smartphone brands like Samsung, Asus and Xiaomi plans to use these improved chips. Rupert Murdoch-owned media outlets New York Post and Dow Jones have filed a lawsuit against Perplexity AI. They accuse the artificial intelligence startup of copyright violations. The lawsuit claims the startup is illegally copying a massive amount of their content. San Francisco-based Perplexity AI is developing an AI-powered search engine that provides summarized results. Microsoft will allow its customers to build artificial intelligence agents starting next month. This will be done using its Copilot Studio, an application that requires little coding knowledge. The tech giant claims the agents will work without human intervention. They can handle client queries, identify sale leads, and manage inventory. Microsoft is using several AI models to build these agents. British banking giant HSBC has announced a major reconstructing. The bank is streamlining its operations into 4 distinct units. HSBC will consolidate its commercial banking operations with its global banking businesses. However, it will not include the banking units in Hong Kong and the UK. Another 2 units include corporate and institutional banking and international wealth and premier banking. The bank has also appointed Pam Kaur as its first CFO. Entertainment giant Walt Disney says it will announce the name of its next CEO by early 2026. This is the first time the firm has announced succession plan for its current CEO Bob Iger. He has been credited with building Disney's media empire by acquiring Pixar, Marvel, and the Star Wars franchise. Iger's retirement date has been extended 5 times. Meanwhile, Disney says it will appoint Morgan Stanley's James Gorman as its board chairman. American pharma company Eli Lilly has sued 3 medical spas and online vendors. This is for claiming to sell products similar to its weight loss drug Zepbound. The lawsuit accuses the spas and vendors of false advertising and promotion. Those named in the case include Pivotal Peptides, Mangrox, and Genesis Lifestyle Medicine. Share prices of American carrier Spirit Airlines jumped by 46% yesterday. This comes as airline reached a new deal with its credit card processor. Spirit Airlines now has until December 23 to restructure its over $1 billion in debt. The airline has reported a loss for the last 5 quarters. Meanwhile, the Indian stock market listing of Hyundai Motor disappointed investors. The automaker's share prices dropped by as much as 5% on its market debut. Shares of Hyundai Motor India were trading at around 1,890 rupees. The firm saw a lukewarm response from investors during the initial public offering last week. Moving to sports, we start with cricket. South Africa's Kagiso Rabada joined the elite list of 300 Test wicket takers. He achieved this milestone during the first Test match against Bangladesh in Dhaka. Rabada took his 300th wicket in his 65th Test. Rabada is the 6th South African to make his name into the esteem list. New Zealand batter Kane Williamson will miss the second Test against India. Williamson did not play in the first Test either. He is recovering from a groin strain. The top New Zealand batter suffered the injury last month. It was during New Zealand's Test series against Sri Lanka. Neymar returned to competitive football after 369 days of absence for Saudi club Al-Hilal. The Brazilian was recovering from an injury he sustained in October last year. Neymar failed to make an impact, but Al-Hilal defeated Al Ain 5-4 in the Asian Champions League match. In the Premier League, Nottingham Forest beat Crystal Palace 1-0. Forward Chris Wood scored the match's sole goal. His goal came in the 65th minute. With the victory, Nottingham ended its 7-match winless streak. Spanish club Atletico Madrid has a major setback ahead of the next Champions League match. Defender Clement Lenglet suffered a major injury. The Frenchman on loan from Barcelona suffered a twisted left knee and ankle injury. Occurred during Atletico's clash with Leganés on October 20. In tennis, Aryna Sabalenka has reclaimed the world #1 spot in women's singles. Sabalenka replaced Poland's Iga Świątek from the top spot. The Belarusian recently won the Wuhan Open. Sabalenka had a largely successful run throughout the season. Men's world #6 Taylor Fritz has spoken out against off-court coaching. Fritz says that the International Tennis Federation's decision to allow off-court coaching would ruin the strategic elements of the game. In off-court coaching, the coaches can issue advice to the players verbally or through hand signals at any point of the game. The practice remains implemented on trial basis in all 4 Grand Slams since 2023. Glasgow was confirmed as host of the 2026 Commonwealth Games. The Scottish city stepped in to host the Games after Australian state of Victoria's withdrawal. Victoria withdrew from the bid to host the Games, citing financial concerns. The Commonwealth Games are scheduled to run from July 23 to August 2 in 2026. The 2026 Glasgow Commonwealth Games will not feature several sports disciplines. They include hockey, cricket, rugby, wrestling, badminton, squash, table tennis, and triathlon. The scaled-down edition of Commonwealth Games is reportedly due to cost-related factors. In baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers locker room exploded in champagne-fueled celebration. The Dodgers beat the New York Mets to win the National League Championship Series. The Dodgers have now effectively punched their ticket to the World Series. Footage from the dressing room showed baseball legend Shohei Ohtani and his teammates drenched in champagne and beer. Moving to the world of showbiz now, rapper Sean Combs allegedly raped a minor girl with 2 other male celebrities. This is according to a new lawsuit filed against the rapper. The incident happened at one of the rapper's parties in the year 2000. The minor is now 37 years old. The alleged victim claimed that she felt lightheaded after consuming a drink. She stated in the lawsuit that the rapper removed her clothes after she grew more disoriented. Meanwhile, after rapper Sean Combs was hit with 7 new lawsuits, his lawyers have requested a gag order against the accusers. This order prohibits the accusers to discuss trial-related information outside courtroom. The rapper is currently in jail awaiting trial against charges of sexual assault and racketeering. According to several reports, multiple drugs were found in the body of late singer Liam Payne. The toxicology report named drugs like crack cocaine and methamphetamine. According to reports, an improvised pipe to ingest drugs was also found in his room. Liam Payne died on the 16th of October after falling from his hotel's balcony in Argentina. American singer Britney Spears has married herself. She took to social media to show her fans her gorgeous-looking wedding gown. Spears added in the caption that she married herself and called it the most brilliant thing she has ever done. This comes a year after she separated from Sam Asghari. Actor Jennifer Lawrence is expecting a second child with her husband Cuck Maroney. The happy news was confirmed after she stepped out for dinner showing off her baby bump. She welcomed a baby boy named Sai in 2022. The couple have been married since 2019. According to reports, the makers of the Christopher Nolan's next directorial have tapped Tom Holland for a role. The film also reportedly stars Matt Damon in a crucial role. The production of the untitled film will begin early next year. The film is scheduled to release in 2026. SpongeBob and Sandy's Country Christmas film will premiere in December this year. The 33-minute special takes SpongeBob on holiday adventure, where the mission is to save Christmas in Bikini Bottom. The iconic animated series is celebrating 25 years of its existence. A red carpet was rolled out in New York for the premiere of the film Venom 3. Actors like Tom Hardy, Juno Temple, and Chiwetel Ejiofor attended the event. The story shows the characters of Brock and Venom running away from their own worlds. The American superhero film will hit theaters on the 25th of October. The producers of the film Braid Runner 2049 have sued Elon Musk, Tesla, and Warner Bros. Discovery. They accuse the parties of being involved in alleged copyright infringement. The lawsuit claims that AI-generated images from the film were used at the launch event of Tesla's self-driving robotaxi. The suit seeks unspecified monetary damages. And finally, Harvey Weinstein, an American former film producer and convicted sex offender, has been diagnosed with bone marrow cancer. It is called myeloid leukemia. His representative expressed a disappointment with the fact that his client's private health issues have become public. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am Gursheen Garland and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Stay informed and stay tuned to Firstpost.